Just how much damage did that flooding earlier this month do to Arkansas crops? We've got the numbers and a lot more on today's episode of the Arkansas AgCast, which starts right now.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Happy Thursday to both of you.
Yeah. It's Thursday. It's kind of our Friday, though.
Last day of the week for us.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people still get off Good Friday, but boy, I sure am grateful that us Farm Bureau employees do.
This is random. I hope the dry cleaner is open tomorrow.
Oh, boy. You just made me realize I need to go by there, too. You just put me in a pure panic right there.
Yeah, I really need a shirt clean before this weekend.
They have my item.
Yeah.
So it could be in dry cleaning jail.
It could be.
Are you busting out your seersucker this weekend?
No, that be honest with you, that's one thing I've always wanted one is a seersucker suit.
Yeah. I tell you.
Well, white shoes.
Do you have one?
I would like to see you in a seersucker.
I would look pretty fresh in a seersucker.
I think you would.
Are you a Dapper Dan man?
I'm bona fide, yeah.
As the owner of a seersucker suit, I will tell you, it's the most unrewarding item that I own, probably.
Why is that?
Because you can't wear it very often.
That's true.
I mean,
but how does it make you
when you
feel
get in your
when you
40s, your friends are married, so no like summer, spring weddings.
Yeah.
Easter's about it.
You wear it to the races.
I've never worn it to the races. I felt obnoxious doing that, but I've worn it to a few weddings. I've worn it for Easter.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, I'm glad I have it, but
it made you feel good while you're wearing it, right? No?
A little bit. It feels like I'm living up to my Southern
Sounds
culture.
like for you, it's more regret than anything. Almost like an obligation. Since you own it, you have to find an opportunity to wear it.
Yeah, that's.
But even though you're not going to enjoy wearing it while you're wearing it,
I do like wearing it. I should say I like wearing it. But when you walk in, you're the only one. Wedding a few summers ago that I worked to, all his family was from the West Coast and came into town.
I'm assuming they weren't wearing seersuckers?
No, but when I walked in, they're like, yes, we're in the South, we're in Atlanta, and someone is at this wedding wearing a seersucker suit. And they were just so excited about that it's not just a myth. It's not something that you see on TV. They were so excited to see that it actually existed.
I had a really light khaki suit one time.
Well, they make a khaki seersucker too.
Do they?
Yeah.
You
gotta have a tan
the
suit.
blue and white.
Yeah. No, you can get a khaki instead of a blue stripe. Which is a little bit more subdued.
That's just as far as I've gotten in that kind of reach of men's.
What he's telling you is he'll only go in so far here.
Yeah. I think you should get one.
I want one. But
then you got to do the white bucks.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Cheap white bucks don't exist.
Do you do a bow tie with it?
Have to.
And do you hat?
No hat. But you you can't wear a regular tie with a seersucker.
Right.
I don't even know if you're supposed to wear a belt. I do.
Suspenders?
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a tuxedo, you can't wear a belt with. But the shoes have to be, you cannot just throw whatever pair of dress shoes or whatever kind of shoes you got. I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 types of shoes you can wear with them.
You put that hat on that I think you're referring to. It's not quite a straw hat, but it's a flat brim.
Yeah.
It's a fedora
type thing.
Yeah.
You're almost on the verge of showing that you are an a cappella group, a men's only.
And if you want to be styling, you got to have that band.
Colored
band going.
Maybe a little feather or something.
Yeah. Let me see.
A feather.
I want to see a picture of it. Oh yeah, look, there it is.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Bow tie. Oh man, it is what it is.
These guys are all wearing. You've got neckties, traditional neckties, but I've always heard and believed that you have to wear a bow tie with it. But
I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but somebody of my physique wearing a bow tie and it not being that visible, is kind of,
daunting.
yeah, daunting.
Yeah,
You got a little bit of a double chin,
Yeah,
and a little no neck syndrome.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to see the bow tie in that situation.
I will say though, since I am wearing this seersucker to church on Sunday, I will not be wearing a bow tie because that just feels like that's way too obnoxious.
Now, I will say, people that do rock a bow tie, it's kind of like almost like rocking a mustache. Like, yeah, you're
It's
supposed
a
to be having
decision.
a mustache. You do a good job at it.
Yeah,
But no, I'm just not. I'd say I can't.
yeah.
I just choose not to. I don't have the confidence.
And it takes a long time to tie one of those bad boys.
I couldn't even tell you how to.
Yeah.
I can tie
lot of
several
work.
different ways, but
So you've never been standing in front of a mirror and you got it tied and you went, yes.
with a bow tie, I don't know a bow tie, so never attempted it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it is Easter
Yes, it is.
weekend. We are not here tomorrow because it's Good Friday, as we mentioned.
Yep.
And I think about food when I think about Easter, among many other things. Food not at the top of the list, I should say, but it's up there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. For like a month, every time I get in the Kroger app to, put something on my list or whatever, it's just filled with ham and, all the Easter candy and all the things you need. So I guess several other people, I guess many people associate food with Easter. But
Here's a hot take.
okay.
I don't really like ham as like the protein on a meal, like the main protein on a plate, like a nice sit down. Like for me, ham, just put it on a sandwich. That's really all I need it for. But like in the place of like chicken or a steak or pork chop or something like that, ham it doesn't do it for me.
Where are you on that?
Easter food, it's never been.
It's not. It doesn't feel like a real thing.
I've always been more concerned about the Easter basket and what goes into the Easter basket.
Yeah, that's fair.
And, I can't tell you how many times I was always very disappointed. You'd get the basket and you'd see that big bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that is the biggest piece of chocolate I've
Oh,
ever
that
seen.
chocolate
And
bunny,
you go to take a bite of it and realize it's hollow.
Hollow.
And you're
Yeah.
like,
Disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me surprise you.
Okay.
I am squarely in line with your ham assessment.
Oh, that makes conversation a little.
how about that?
I agree. I just don't like ham.
I like ham, but like it just.
I mean, I'm like you. I don't like it as a centerpiece of the meal. It's fine.
Yeah.
I might even prefer turkey if it's cooked right.
Yeah.
You know.
I take just a different situation like Thanksgiving or Christmas when you have turkey in ham. Yeah, that's fine. Like I get it. But like we're gonna have ham and peas and mashed potatoes tonight. No, not in my
I don't
house.
like that. And
No
by the
offense to
way,
anybody that does, but
keep the ham off my breakfast plate.
yeah,
I
I'd
don't
rather
want
have bacon
ham.
or sausage.
It's bacon. If you go to that place and they're like, you want bacon, sausage, or ham, ham's
old
never even
slab
been
of ham with
never
the
even been a
bones still
consideration.
in it. Country ham, is that what they call it?
Yeah,
country.
Never even been a consideration for me. It's not even on the.
I thought
on the
ham and
option.
peas and all that stuff was a January 1st kind of thing.
Oh well, black eyed peas.
Black
yeah,
eyed
it
peas.
is ham and it can be.
Okay. So you're talking like green peas.
I think
yes,
that's what
yes,
he's
yes,
talking
yes,
about.
yes.
Green peas. Yeah. But yeah,
Thank
I
you
don't
for
want ham.
clarifying.
I don't want ham for breakfast, and probably that just goes along with the this other having the ham as the main dish on the plate.
Yeah. When it comes to breakfast, I'd rather have bacon or sausage.
Yeah.
Probably preferably bacon.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. I cook breakfast a lot, and almost everybody wants bacon. But man, it's hard to beat good breakfast sausage.
It is, but kind of like the pimento cheese discussion we had last week. It gets to a point with me. With breakfast sausage, like okay, I've had enough of that. It's only like a few bites.
Bacon doesn't.
Bacon, no, that's a problem.
Keep it coming.
It's a cholesterol problem for me.
That's fine. I'll tell you what else I've never had: the breakfast pork chop or the breakfast steak.
Oh, breakfast steak you've never had?
You like steak and eggs?
For some reason, that was a big deal. Like, we'd have steak one night with my dad's parents. And we'd go visit them for a weekend. And then the next morning, we have steak and eggs for breakfast.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I've done steak omelet with leftover steak.
Yeah.
You know, just instead of cooking bacon or sausage or something.
It's kind of like that scene off Twister. You know what I'm talking about?
Jog my memory.
When they go see the guy's aunt. And she's cooking them steak and eggs.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge thing. I mean, especially for diners. You know,
we did the breakfast steaks from Flying C. Really good.
Oh yeah. Huh. Well, that's where I should do it.
They also have the beef breakfast sausage, which is really good.
Buddy, I'm telling you, I started serving that up to our camping crew, and they said, "Don't bring that regular breakfast sausage back. We want that beef breakfast sausage from now on."
Yeah, exactly.
Not surprised.
Exactly.
I have seen a few times in the grocery store, by the way, beef bacon recently. Even at one of the warehouse stores out here, I saw it this week, and I haven't tried it, but I am curious if Michael and Lauren have that on their shelves.
I think they might.
In the theme of beef breakfast protein. You know,
I'd never even heard of that.
Yeah, I've seen it out, like I said, just recently. It feels like a new thing to me.
I haven't seen it in the store, but I've seen it at like a Flying Sea Ranch type setup, like local.
Okay. Well, if I see it out there, I'll grab some. We can test it out. Give it a shot.
What do you think about turkey bacon?
No.
No?
Get out of here. I thought that was a joke. I thought you were trying to tell me
I knew what
a
your
joke.
answer was going to be. Not any different than mine.
No. Where are you on it?
I'd rather not see it.
If you bring it in my house, we're probably going to have a problem.
Yeah. I usually, if I see it in the grocery store, I kind of make a little smirk and just keep on walking.
Yeah. Low sodium bacon is the same way. You ever seen that in the grocery store? It's like, hey, come on, just eat bacon and cut back somewhere else this week, okay? You don't try and make the unhealthy things healthy. Just restrict how much of that you eat.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I really wanted to smoke my own bacon, like get a pork belly and do all that.
I've cooked pork belly several ways.
Yeah.
Including pork belly corn dog, where I smoked the pork belly, battered it, deep fried it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a Super Bowl party. Shoot.
Put you down for a little bit?
Yeah, it's very popular. And I've done candied pork belly, but one of the barbecue cooks that I watch a lot on YouTube just did one as a brisket. And I really want to try that because I do like peppered bacon, and I think that would.
You could go as far as doing pastrami.
I also want to do a pastrami because I love pastrami. Can't get it. You know, it's hard to find sometimes.
I've made it once, and ever since I did that, I haven't bought it at the store again.
Did you do it with a brisket?
Yes. I've done it with venison, too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh.
But ever since I did that, I haven't bought store-bought pastrami since.
They say you can buy that have you ever seen I know y'all have seen the corned beef package in the store where you kind of add the seasoning, salt, or whatever it is into it. Where they say you can take that, soak it for about 24 hours and just water, get all the pre-done seasoning out of it, and it makes a real good pastrami if you then smoke it.
I've done it before and just made like corned beef. I don't know if I messed it up or something, but like it was good eating it. But after I ate it, I just felt like every artery in me was clogged. I just did not feel good.
It's not the healthiest cut of meat, I'd say that. It's not the healthiest
to the
way
point
to
where I haven't tried it again.
Yeah. Well, I want to try it because I'm a big fan of pastrami.
Yeah, let me know how it goes.
Good pastrami. All right. Anything else before we get into the business here?
Nope.
The real stuff? Congratulations, Rory McIlroy. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Because that was really fun to watch the Masters.
Did you notice how many times they said patrons?
I picked up on it. Thanks to you.
That was probably one, other than Tiger Woods' big shot several years ago and then him winning in 2019 and maybe Bubba Watson, Rory McIlroy winning was one of the best Masters I've ever watched.
Bubba was a good one.
Yep.
And I was glad to see him playing in this one.
Yep.
But that was a cool moment, man. I was texting back and forth with a couple buddies right at the end. I'm like, there's some dust at my house. I don't know about you guys, but when he got all emotional, and I was like, golly, man, that got me.
He texted me like on my way back from Stuttgart Sunday. I was like, "You're right, man. It's Roy's to lose." And just 30 minutes after that, Roy dinks one in the water on a par 3.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, he is going to lose it. But he ended up he recovered. That was fun. And who doesn't love a Masters with the playoff?
No kidding.
Little free golf.
I will say, I was talking to my father-in-law about it when the Saturday, and Justin Rose was in the lead after the first day. And he was like, "Hey, everybody wants to see Roy win it." I was like, "Yeah, me too. I'd like to see Justin Rose win it too. He seems like a good guy." Blah, blah. Oh, he doesn't have a chance. He's going to be up there. You won't see him again. There he is in the playoffs.
Right
like,
there.
You go, Rosie.
Yeah.
But I still was kind of leaning McElroy. So
yeah, it was fun to watch. So, all right. Well, I guess getting into more serious and topics are what we're actually here to talk about. Just a note to everybody listening who may have been affected by storms: the IRS has extended the tax deadline for Arkansans who were impacted. They announced this earlier this week. Tax relief for individuals and businesses in Arkansas who were affected by the severe storms, tornadoes, and flooding that began on April 2nd.
Yeah.
You now have until November 3rd, 2025 to file various federal, individual, and business tax returns and make payments. We'll leave it up to you to find out the exact information on counties or areas impacted or what have you. Don't just assume because us two yahoos said it that you've now got until November 3rd. You should verify and confirm. But I did see that come across this morning. Also, an article that we worked a lot on about a month ago. I say it's an article. It's a couple different features in this month's Arkansas Money and Politics magazine, which you can also get online. We helped source some farmers for the magazine as they were writing a feature on multi-generational farmers and also a feature on women farmers in Arkansas, and got to have several folks participate in those interviews. That is now live. We've been sharing around links to the families who were involved this morning, but please go out and grab one. There's a lot of good information. There's the whole issue almost is on agriculture. There's an article on precision agriculture. There's an article on the rice industry. There's an article on the poultry industry. I mean, there's a lot of good agriculture information in there, but specifically wanted to call your attention to this multi-generational and female farmer feature articles. The Coleman family up in northeast Arkansas, the Mincers in southeast Arkansas, Dana Stewart in White County, Jill Edwards in Faulkner County, the Broadwaters and Kellers in Independence County, Mark Morgan in Clark County, are all part of this these stories in the magazine. So it's well worth your time. Arkansas Money and Politics got a big AMP across the cover, so give that a shot when you see it. Just keeping at the top of your mind, the trap shoot happening January 6th at Arkansas Farm Bureau Foundation Trap Shoot, which also benefits the Arkansas FFA and 4-H foundations. Registration's open. I believe it closes at the end of the month. I also know that Amanda and her team are looking for sponsors still for that event. So if you want to put a team in, if you want to purchase a sponsorship, there's plenty of time to do that. And that event is happening on June 6th. Just reach out to Amanda Williams here at Farm Bureau.
Yeah, you can come compete against me and my team.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe if we can convince Jason Brown to shoot, we can have an AgCast competition.
Yeah, I don't think you want us doing that.
Sounds like you don't want to do it.
No, I mean we'll cheer you on.
Scared. I can feel the table trembling.
What's the youngest competitor that you've been beat by out there at this thing?
Man, I'm having to assume their age. They're
junior high.
It has to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They just wiped the floor with you.
Oh man, they didn't miss a shot. Was it last year or the last 2 years they've had shootouts because the last two people didn't miss a single shot. So,
yeah, Pretty tough competition out there.
Tough, man.
But get in because it is for a good cause.
Yeah.
That's for sure. All right, so we're going to talk about a lot of things today that involve crops, row crops in Arkansas. We've got a report on the WASDE. We've got seed oil, Ag Insider from your team. We're going to talk about the crop damage from the floods earlier this month, which we mentioned at the top of the show. And we're also going to talk about Climate-Smart Commodities program from USDA. Yep. My point is I'm going to give you a heads up. It's going to be sort of a row crop heavy show. And before we get into that, I thought we'd take a look at crop progress and quality report. So
I will say I've got some livestock stuff.
Oh, okay, good. Well,
so don't
at least we didn't go all the way. Yeah, so there you go. Some livestock news still. All right, so no quality reporting yet. I think we're a little too early for that, but I'll just say we'll start with corn. As of Monday, this past Monday, the corn crop is 42% planted here in Arkansas. Last year was at 47%, and the 5-year average is 30%. 24% of the crop has emerged. We're going to talk about a little bit about why that probably matters here in a few. Rice is 24% planted. This time last year we were at 41%, and 5 years ago we were at 20% planted. Or the 5-year average is 20% planted this week. 7% of the crop has emerged. Soybeans, we've got 14% planted right now. This week last year was 11%. This week on the 5-year average is 11%. And 4% of the crop has emerged. And then the first cutting of hay is 1% done. Last year we were at 0%. And the 5 years at 1% there. I want to make a point about this, and I should have pulled this up earlier, but I'll try and do it in a non-distracting way here. But something happened last year that, and you're good about remembering this stuff, so you'll probably remember it. Something happened last year between last week and this week, because the jumps in the this week last year progress, where we took off. So I'll just tell you. So the jumps were enormous. So last year we were at 47%.
This time last year,
corn planted this time last year. Yep. But what I was going to tell you though is when you look at the week of the previous week, we didn't have that much planted, and I was trying to find that real quick. We went from 47 last year. We went from 20% last year to 47%. In a week. And then that carries out. I won't run through all the crop, but like on rice, we went 12% last year, and then jumped to 41%.
I'm trying to think.
Week over week. So it had to have been like, I was trying to get in the time machine and figure out what it was, but it had to have been a deal where maybe it had been wet or the weather was just nice. But it's like whatever happened between the first week of April in 2024 and the second week of April in 2024, I mean, the jumps were crazy.
So didn't, like when we had this last big weather event, last week before, those two, wasn't that about the same time a tornado ran through Little Rock and Wynn?
March 31st, 2023.
2023.
Yeah, not 24.
Oh, not 24.
Yeah, it's 2023.
Okay, no, then I can't put those.
So I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's just seeing such discrepancy. I mean, you're talking about doubling or tripling the progress from the first week of April to the second week of April in 2024.
We didn't have any flooding last year.
So it's kind of interesting.
Compared to this year, it's flooding.
Yeah.
But what I was going to ask you in this progress report.
Yeah, please do.
You think this is a representation of the weather? Because corn planted last week was what, 30%?
Yep.
So we jumped 17% since that last one.
I was surprised to see that, but I'm going to share something else anecdotal with you. So this is the week.
And soybeans didn't see that. Were they at 9% last week?
No, it was less than that.
4?
So let me get to last week, which is the week of the 7th. So last week corn planted was 31%. So we took about a 10% jump. Rice was 15%.
Okay.
So we took almost a 10% jump there. Soybeans planted last week was 11%. And we only picked up. So I think what's happening is people are saying like, "Oh, I might have gotten weather delayed." So I know I've got still time left on soybeans. So we only saw a 3% jump there over last week. So I think people probably said, "Well, let me get back to the corn and rice." Yeah. But anyway, I overheard in the hallway this morning that there are farmers who are asking for rain right now. Matthew said he'd been out to a few farms this week who were row crop farmers who were saying I could use some rain.
Well,
and I thought that was interesting. And I know there's a lot of people who are in trouble and not in that situation at all. But I thought that was just interesting given the amount of rain we had at the
Mississippi, the white, and I don't remember the Arkansas. My drive this weekend, past weekend, the white, the cash are all out of their banks.
But the Arkansas looks low to me.
The Mississippi's out of its banks a little bit.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's inside the levee, but
you know that you don't ever come across a 430 bridge, but that island out there by Two Rivers Park that always has all the flags on it. All the flags are fully above water.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. So anyway.
No, I did notice. Was it 2 weeks ago? We went down to Rebsamen Park, walked the dog and stuff, and if it rose another 10 feet, it'd been in the park.
Oh, really?
Like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So I just wonder if seeing that big jump is people who are dry enough to plant and
probably people with real sandy
The weather's
ground.
been great too.
Yeah, the last week's been nice.
We're going to get rain and weather, potentially severe weather this weekend. But anyway, all right.
Well, let's get into the news.
Let's do it.
We've been chattering a little too long, but
yeah, we have.
That's what we do. So funding for conservation programs has been a hot topic of discussion given the new administration's government spending cut priorities, to say the least. Climate-Smart programs have been on their radar, and we received news this week of what the future holds for those programs. On Monday, the USDA announced the cancellation of the Partnerships for Climate-Smart Commodities, or PCSC program, replacing it with the Advancing Market for Producers, or AMP, initiative under a new set of rules. PCSC was originally launched during the Biden administration and was allocated $3.1 billion to over 130 projects aimed at helping farmers adopt conservation practices for climate-smart commodities. However, in the Monday announcement, USDA stated that many of these projects had excessive administration costs, with less than half of the funds reaching producers. I thought that was pretty interesting. Under the new AMP program, existing grants will be reviewed and only allowed to continue if they meet these three specific criteria. Excuse me. At least 65% of federal funds must directly benefit producers. Grant recipients must enroll and, this is the third one, pay at least one producer by December 31st, 2024.
Okay.
If they don't meet those, that program's not going to continue.
Oh, interesting.
So keep that in mind. Some projects, such as the National Pork Board Sustainability Initiative, have already received approval to move forward just because they've met those requirements.
Okay.
Reactions from participating organizations in the American Farm Bureau Federation are still ongoing, with several groups declining to comment for now. So I guess they're just kind of waiting to see how this plays out. More than likely, that's going to be their response is going to be dependent on whether or not their program continues or gets cut. It's kind of obvious. But
yeah. No, I love it.
AFBF's Sam Kiefer, Vice President of Public Policy, was quoted saying, "We are grateful the administration is focused on being there and delivering for farmers and ranchers. We also urge USDA to honor contracts already signed where farmers or farm-led organizations may have already made investments and paid for supplies or services based on the assumption they would be reimbursed by the grant program." So it's good to hear these funds didn't get completely just axed, right? But it'll be interesting to see how many of these projects are able to continue under this new program and the rules that they've set. But if anything else comes out about it, as always, we'll be sure to keep everybody updated here on the show.
So a lot of Arkansas ties to this.
Yes.
I remember Secretary Vilsack came to Arkansas to announce this program.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
But we were down in Humnoke Stuttgart area.
Yep.
And boy, a lot of those funds came to Arkansas.
They did.
I'm just thinking about that and what that could mean. I don't mean to speculate or cast doubt or anything. I just know that a lot of those funds were awarded here.
AFBF, that quote there gives a good point. Think about all the people that have made investments and purchased whatever they needed, believing they were going to get that money.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you add that on top of a bad year last year. Let's just use row crop for example, and then looking at this year as probably another bad year. Yeah, you just spent a bunch of money that you didn't need to.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that and see how it sort of plays out. But all right, we talked about that record-breaking rainfall that we received a couple weeks ago, and we know that it had great impacts on agriculture. Well, the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture has put the pencil to paper to find out just how much damage was done. From April 2nd to the 6th, Arkansas and parts of the Mid-South endured a series of storms culminating in what the National Weather Service labeled generational flooding, with more than a foot of rain falling in some locations, including my house. Moderate and major flooding occurred along the Cache, Black, White, and Washita rivers. And there is still happening because water levels along those rivers are not expected to decline rather significantly through April 18th. So that's through tomorrow.
So
meaning there's still flooding going on.
It's probably going to crest on the 18th, you think?
At least not gonna the flood waters are not gonna recede.
Okay.
I know there's a town in northeast Arkansas being evacuated this morning.
Really?
Because of the White River.
Wow.
So the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture on Tuesday, as I mentioned, estimated crop-related flood damage in Arkansas to be a conservative, their term, not mine, $78.9 million. And agronomists and economists warn additional acres may be flooded as water moves downstream. I think that's going to be the issue, is the flooding's not over, even though the rain is. The estimate said that of the nearly 840,000 acres reported planted as of April 7th, 31% of that was reported flooded. Rice accounted for most of the flooded acreage at 46%, with soybeans following that at 30%. Next up was corn at 23% flooded acres, and winter wheat at 1% of the crop. The assessment did not include peanuts and cotton, and that's because those crops you generally have later planting dates. I don't know that we've planted any cotton or peanuts yet.
I wouldn't think so.
At least USDA doesn't think we have. The analysis estimated the total replanting expenses from flooded acres for corn, rice, and soybeans to be over $42 million. The estimated replanting cost per commodity is, so we're going to break that $42 million for you. Corn, almost $11.5 million, rice, almost $21 million, and soybeans, almost $10 million for replants there.
Wow.
Winter wheat damaged by flooding won't be replanted, of course. And with fertilizer and inputs already invested in the crop, wheat growers will still face production losses and sunk cost of production. This places the loss for wheat at around $18 million, the analysis said. So nearly the highest of the four. It's second highest, I guess, of the four. The value of federal crop insurance indemnities, the amount insurance would pay back to farmers, is estimated at $18.69. So we're talking about a cost of replant just on corn, rice, and soybeans at $42 million. When you add in wheat, you're adding, you're getting up to $60 million.
So the 18.69.
The 18.69 is about, nearly a third, not quite a third of the losses. Agricultural economists and agronomists from the Division of Agriculture made their calculations based on observations from county cooperative extension service agents. Hunter Byram, extension economist and friend of the AgCast, noted that the estimate is a conservative one, as I mentioned earlier. He said, quote, "We recognize that this is likely a conservative estimate, as we have not accounted for yield loss resulting from the late planting, damage to farm structures such as grain bins and unreported acreage that is flooded. Excuse me. We note that these losses are 1/3 of the projected economic assistance to be received. Look, we did the math on the fly.
Yeah.
1/3 of the economic assistance to be received by Arkansas crop producers, highlighting the significance of this flood event in the face of multi-year declines in net farm income and heightened market volatility.
Yeah.
A lot to unpack there.
A lot to unpack to sum up to just say another blow.
Yeah, that's right.
When you still hadn't got off the ground yet.
That's right. That's right. So, anyway, just wanted to bring that up. We'll continue watching that. Obviously, these damage estimates will be updated. I did read this morning that the university is sharing this information with you, Arkansas Governor Sarah Sanders and USDA, probably starting that conversation about assistance and for these farmers.
Yeah, hopefully something comes. I haven't heard anything yet, though.
No. I think we're still really pretty early on that, but yeah.
Hey, Arkansas, strawberry season is here, and there's no better time to hit the Arkansas Farm Trail to load up on those delicious Arkansas treats.
You know, the Arkansas Farm Trail is a brand new way to connect with local farms across our state. More than 20 of them, in fact, in 16 counties, are opening their gates to you. Farm fresh fruits and veggies, to meats, grains, and canned goods. These are real working farms where you can buy straight from the source.
That's right. Right now, strawberries are in season, ripe, juicy, ready to pick. Mm-hmm. Grab your Arkansas Farm Trail passport at any participating farm, your local county farm bureau office, or you can download one at arfarmtrail.com. Each time you make a purchase at a farm on the trail, you'll earn a stamp. Collect enough, and you could win amazing prizes, including a grand prize custom fire pit built by Arkansas FFA students.
You know, it's fun, it's a great way to travel the state, and it's all about supporting Arkansas farmers. So pack up the family, hit the road, and make some sweet memories this strawberry season. You can learn more at arfarmtrail.com.
All right. Man, we got a big publication that just came out.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I have.
How many times did you see
10 or 12, I'd say. I've read that thing.
So since the new year, seed oils for human consumption and whether or not they are healthy have been under discussion at the top levels of federal government. With that in mind, our team in the Commodity and Regulatory Affairs Department here at Arkansas Farm Bureau published a new Ag Insider this week highlighting the economic impact seed oil production has on Arkansas row crop producers, as well as what effects a potential ban on seed oil for human consumption would do to the ag industry as a whole. Mm-hmm. We kind of examine, which I'll get into, the state, U.S., but you know, we've worked pretty hard on this, so I don't know if Jason's
you
proud
can
of
tell.
it.
Listen, you know, I told you I think this is the best Ag Insider you guys have ever written.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. A lot of work went into it.
I do mean that because it's some great information.
Again, what I'm talking about is we produce a lot of row crops that end up being seed oils.
Seed oils,
right?
Yeah.
And what that's if a ban on seed oil for human consumption was to happen today, what would that look like for row crop producers as well as the ag industry or just the blatant economy for the country or the state of Arkansas? Mm-hmm. So if a ban were to be implemented today, soybeans specifically would be projected to see a 3.4% acreage decline in the U.S. or in U.S. soybean prices over the next decade and a 6.7% reduction in net returns to farmers. Mm-hmm. Across the U.S., we could see a decrease of up to 3 million acres of soybean cultivation nationally by 2036, kind of 10 years looking at. Arkansas soybeans destined for oil production represent 14.6 million bushels, worth $187.1 million. A ban would cause the demand for soybeans to fall dramatically, resulting in, of course, less production. Mm-hmm. Although corn covers significantly less ground in Arkansas, producers are estimated to operate at a $165 an acre loss in 2025. That's for corn. It is estimated that more than 7 million bushels of Arkansas-grown corn goes to edible corn oil production valued at $34 million, another large contributor to the Arkansas economy. Mm-hmm. Lastly, cotton production, as I mentioned earlier, is projected to operate at $325 an acre loss, the biggest of the three. Mm-hmm. in 2025 after 3 consecutive years of per acre losses that have increased each year in that time frame. So over the last 3 years, they've lost more and more money per acre.
That's right.
Although cottonseed is a byproduct of cotton lint production, the sale of cottonseed after ginning provides a significant income to cotton farmers. The value of the cottonseed alone is estimated to be $242.24 an acre, and every year the U.S. crushes 30 to 40% of all cottonseed produced. This results in approximately 400 million pounds of oil each year, of which over 90% is used domestically. So just think about that being cut out.
Yeah.
Given all that, it is important to note that a ban on oilseed for human consumption would not only impact row crop producers. Soybean meal is used in feed rations for livestock, and given any decrease in demand for soybean oil would directly decrease the production of soybean meal. Poultry producers specifically would face the brunt of that impact due to the fact they utilize 60% of all soybean meal produced in the U.S. Consumers also would be financially impacted. Soybean oil holds, interestingly enough, a 60% market share of all food oil consumed in the U.S. It can be found in many processed or prepared foods, and a ban on its use would cause manufacturers to seek other, more expensive alternatives, driving up prices for consumers and households. Now, I could talk about this all day, but due to our time constraints here on the show, I just covered the high points, main points. This article is, 4 or 5 pages long?
Oh, yeah.
Some nice visual graphs.
Yeah.
I would highly encourage you to visit arfb.com to read the whole article. It's under Ag Insiders, I think under Arkansas Agriculture, maybe.
It is. Yep.
Also, if you have any questions about the information provided in the article, feel free to contact the authors of the article, Brandy Carroll, Tyler Oxner, or myself. Our contact information can be found at the bottom page.
Yep. I'll tell you, listen, if you're listening to this or you're watching this right now, go to your kitchen, pull out the bottle of vegetable oil that you have in your kitchen, okay? I want you to take it out of the cabinet. I want you to flip it over and go down to the bottom of the label and look where it says ingredients, okay?
Yeah.
There will be one ingredient listed. I can almost guarantee you. It's going to say soybean oil.
Yeah.
Okay? And when you do that, just think about if you've got another bottle of oil in your house, olive oil, palm oil, whatever that may be, think about how expensive that may be, and what that would be like, flipping over into one of those other oils.
Another good point to add to that is there's not enough. Let's say we don't have seed oils anymore in the country starting today, and people try to switch to animal fats or olive oil or palm oil or whatever it is. There's not enough olive oil production
Right.
in the world to supplement that or make up for it. And there's definitely not enough animal fat production in the country to make up for it at all either.
Yep.
So we would have to more than likely import palm oil. And I think about tariffs.
Yeah.
And there's also it's research out there saying that palm oil isn't probably the best to be consuming either.
Sure.
So there's a huge impact here that would just completely flatline a market that would just go away. Now, there would be some situations where there's other countries in the world that there are current countries that have banned seed oil consumption for humans, but there are a lot of countries that haven't. We'd still be able to export, soybeans to those countries, and they would produce oil. We may end up starting to export oil, but we wouldn't be able to make up for it. 60% of the market share here is made up of soybean oil, which is vegetable oil.
Yeah.
In the most part.
And ask a cattle farmer, especially a dairy farmer, if they've ever used cottonseed.
Oh yeah,
in their ration. For their cows,
cottonseed holes
for their
or whatever.
beef. Yeah.
Now,
Anyway.
another thing I would say. Actually, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. The point is, it would be highly impactful, and if you want to know just how impactful it would be financially and otherwise, you can go to our website, arfb.com, type in Ag Insider in the search bar, and pull this one right up. It's also on social channels.
What I was going to say is we just focused on the 3 crops we produce in the state of Arkansas. But in that article, we do mention all the other seed oil crops that are out there.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. All right, last one of the day. USDA has released its April WASDE report, and there are a few updates to the 2024-25 balance sheets for major row crops. Let's take a look at those numbers. According to USDA, corn ending stocks for the 23-24 marketing year were lowered slightly, mainly due to increased corn use for ethanol and feed. Soybean ending stocks were slightly increased, primarily due to lower exports and residual use. Both of those trends will mesh well with the planting intentions report by USDA on March that was published March 31st. That's where we saw we'll have more corn and less soybeans this year. So the USDA's April soybean production estimate from Brazil was also much higher than the industry estimate before the WASDE reports released. Looking at cotton and wheat next, cotton exports were reduced by 100,000 bales, while ending stocks increased by the same amount. In wheat, the report forecasts larger wheat supplies in 24 and 25, with the largest increases in production. It looks like red meat production is forecast lower. Milk production is forecast up on larger cow inventories and slightly higher per cow production expectations, which I thought was interesting. Broiler and turkey prices are raised on continued strong demand. But eggs are projected to see a price lowering, not a drop, but a lowering on the expectations that the layer flock will recover over the remainder of 2025. Overall, not much to see here, but the report indicated that the real fireworks in terms of balance sheet changes may come with the May WASDE simply because that will include the first estimates of the 24-25 crop.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely come back and report on this next month when the May WASDE is released.
And that South American crop should be, if not already, coming out, out of the field.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's going to affect markets too. I think right now soybeans, but after that big tariff push we reported on last week, they dropped down to like $9 and something.
Yeah.
But then the pause came through and some other stuff. They've gone, soybeans have bumped up like $10 and some change.
Yeah.
But if that Brazil crop comes through and it's bigger than what they think, it's probably going to fall a little bit more.
We got some issues on here. So, all right, sir, we've done our jobs.
Did your damage?
Yeah, we did
all
our
right.
damage.
Yeah,
We'll see if we can do some more.
Talk, I'm sure.
Look how tired he is.
I'm not tired.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't yawned
just
once.
stretch your
Yeah,
neck.
he hasn't yawned since we started.
Yeah.
But
He's holding pretty strong.
I can turn it on when I need to. You know
Look at you. You're just a real pro.
I am.
That's
full
awesome.
of surprises.
Take my job very serious.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can make you tired. It's time to play.
Tired of getting wrong answers.
Yeah.
Tired of getting hard questions.
Tired of being tired, man.
Well, I made one up on the fly before I start.
Oh, okay.
Just based on what we discussed today.
Okay.
So let's say I was a regular at a breakfast location in a certain city in Georgia,
Okay.
and I always ordered one of the meats you were so fixated on. What would I be?
You're a regular at a restaurant in Georgia,
Breakfast restaurant.
breakfast restaurant, and you were always wanting to.
Always wanted to eat one of the meats that you guys were so fixated on.
No, the bulldog. I don't know where we're headed. With
We were
this.
fixated on ham, is what I think he's referring to.
But
That's not what I was referring
he's
to.
something that was
What
I'm
were we
going to put
talking
you out
about
of your
then?
misery.
okay.
You would be a Macon bacon patron.
Macon, Georgia.
That's pretty good. Making bacon patron.
There you go. Macon bacon
I
patron.
like that. That's pretty.
Dan's got jokes.
Yeah, he does. All right, into the real hard stuff.
So
Making
I've got
bacon
entertainment, arts, history, science, geography.
Ooh, we haven't done history in a long time.
patron. By all means.
He dove right into that
Yeah,
one.
he did.
Which U.S. president awarded Rosa Parks the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Billy.
Billy C?
Yes, exactly.
I was going to say George Sr.
I jumped out there on you. I'm sorry.
Nope, Bill Clinton.
Oh,
Yes,
as
he
a
did.
team, we're 1-0.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a win.
All right. So what's next?
Sorry, give me a rundown one more time.
Entertainment, arts, science, geography. And I can refresh.
No, I'll take entertainment. I've been trying to avoid it, but I'll take it.
All right.
Oh, God, that means I'm not going to get it.
I didn't like that tone.
Yeah.
What was Lucy and Ricky's last name on the TV series I Love Lucy?
Lucy Basile or
No.
No,
Lucille Ball is.
oh, that's what I'm thinking.
But
Ricky
oh my
Ricardo.
gosh, I could see it. Ricky
Ricardo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
2 for 2.
I love Lucy. So does
There you
my
go.
kiddo.
I know a dog named Ricky, and I always call him Ricky Ricardo.
There you
why.
go.
Going back to
I never kind
knew?
of knew why.
Who knew it was going to help you out on a
Ricky
day such as
Ricardo.
today?
Ricky.
How about that?
There you go, buddy.
All right.
All right.
all Ricky
Arts,
Sunday.
science, geography, or you can go entertainment one more time if you want. So
We didn't do general, did we?
He's general's not on there.
I can make general be on there if you want it to be.
Art, science, entertainment,
Geography.
geography.
No.
Geography's a loser's game.
Geography and science are out. Might as well say art's out too. That leaves us with entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, double up on the entertainment.
Who does the voiceover for Dory from Finding Nemo and Finding Dory?
Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres, yeah.
I was too easy on y'all today.
I like that a lot. It boosted my confidence.
We went 3-0, didn't we?
I know, we did.
Yeah.
Well,
The dad joke we didn't get.
Yeah,
True.
that's fair. So we're
True.
3-1, I guess.
So-
But either way, we
On the
batted.
board from
Did we
from
bat
the board,
700?
I say we batted 1,000% there with the three that actually came from that real game.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I
Well,
wanted you to go into this long weekend with a lot of confidence, John.
I'm sure you did.
I'm going to need it to wear a seersucker suit.
You looked a little tired coming in here today, so
I
man.
was. That emergency I drank really helped.
Well, listen, that wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen.
Absolutely. Remember, you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon, 5 video episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the audio version wherever you listen to podcasts.
Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown.
And
He's
I'm John McMahon.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.